Hummingbird's secret garden, hidden archway high above a field of swaying daisies, two tiny wings zipped and buzzed like glittery helicopters. Whir went Flit, the playful hummingbird, as he looped in silly circles. Slow down or you'll make yourself dizzy, laughed Neela, his curious sister, hovering nearby. Just then, something sparkled at the far edge of the meadow. A cluster of blossoms had grown together, forming a glowing archway of red, yellow, and purple petals. It shimmered in the sunlight like a rainbow door. Whoa! Flit's eyes grew wide. That looks like the entrance to true treasure. Neela tilted her head. Not treasure, silly. Maybe it's something even better, an adventure. With a daring swoop, Neela darted closer. Bzzz zoom. She hovered in front of the arch. The air smelled sweet, like honey and sunshine mixed together. Flit gulped. What if it's dangerous? Or what if it's magical? Neela replied with a grin. Together, they fluttered through the arch. On the other side was a breathtaking sight, a secret garden hidden from the world. Every flower seemed brighter, every leaf shimmered like emerald glass, and the air buzzed with tiny, hidden sounds. Birds chirped, bees hummed, and somewhere in the distance, water trickled like a song. Flit whispered Neela, "We've found a hidden world." Flit spun in a loop, squeaking, "Woohoo! Our own garden of wonders." As they flew deeper, the flowers seemed to lean toward them, as if greeting old friends. One tall sunflower swayed and released a shower of golden dust that sparkled in the air. Puff! Flit sneezed. Achoo glitter sneeze. Neela giggled so hard she nearly tumbled out of the air. They perched on a curling vine, hearts fluttering with excitement. "This is our secret now," Neela whispered. "A garden full of tiny wonders waiting to be discovered." Flit bobbed his head eagerly. "I bet there are flowers we've never seen, creatures we've never met, and mysteries to solve." The adventure had only just begun. Interactive question for kids. If you found a magical archway made of flowers, would you fly through it like Neela, or stay outside like cautious Flit at first? The nectar race, the secret garden, shimmered with flowers of every color imaginable. Trumpet-shaped blossoms stretched toward the sun, glowing like candy canes. Tiny bells of blue swayed in the breeze. The air smelled so sweet that Flit's tummy gave a loud gurgle. "Did you hear that?" laughed Neela, fluttering her wings. "Sounds like someone's hungry." Flit rubbed his round belly. "I'm starving. First one to the nectar wins." Before Neela could answer, he zoomed forward. Zzz Pihoosh. His wings blurred so fast, they made a buzzing hum like a tiny race car. "Hey," Neela called, darting after him. "You didn't even say ready, set, go." "Too late. I'm already winning." Flit chirped, diving toward a giant red hibiscus. But when Flit stuck his beak in its lure, the flower shook, and a cloud of golden pollen puffed out, covering him from head to tail. PFFFT, PFFFT, I can't see, he squeaked, flapping wildly. He looked like a fuzzy, glittery puffball. Neela laughed so hard her wings wobbled. "You look like a flying cupcake." "Cupcakes don't zoom," Flit protested, trying to shake himself clean. Neela darted gracefully to a row of purple trumpet flowers. Slurp sip sip. The nectar was delicious, sweet as honey, cool as morning dew. She said, licking her beak. "Not too fast, Flit. Nectar is for savoring, not gulping." Flit zipped over to join her, still half covered in pollen. Okay, maybe racing isn't the best idea." He dipped his beak into another blossom. Sip sip. His eyes sparkled. "Whoa, it's like drinking sunshine." Neela nodded. "And did you notice? Every flower tastes a little different. It's like nature's buffet." They sipped from more blossoms. Wings whirry like tiny fans. Flowers leaned as though bowing to them, gifting sweet drops of nectar. With every sip, Neela and Flit's energy soared, their wings buzzing even faster. Flit licked his beak dramatically. "Best race ever, even if I lost." Neela grinned. "You didn't lose, silly. We both win when we share." The garden around them shimmered brighter, as if agreeing. Interactive question for kids. If you were a hummingbird, what flower would you fly to first? The tall, red hibiscus, or the little purple trumpet flowers? The butterfly dance, the secret garden, glittered brighter as Neela and Flit zoomed between blossoms, their wings humming like tiny engines. Suddenly, a burst of color swirled around them, fluttering wings painted in orange, blue, and yellow. Flap, 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 swoosh. "Whoa!" Flit gasped. "The flowers are flying away." Neela tilted her head. "Not flowers, silly, butterflies." A group of graceful butterflies circled them, their wings catching the sunlight like stained glass windows. They twirled in the air, moving together as if they were dancing. One butterfly with sparkly blue wings hovered close. "Welcome, little hummingbirds," she said in a soft, breezy voice. Flit's beak dropped open. "They talk?" Neela nudged him. "Of course they do. It is a magical garden." The butterflies began to spin in circles, dipping and swooping, swish, whoosh, flutter, flutter. Their wings created patterns in the air, like glowing ribbons. Neela's eyes sparkled. "It's a butterfly dance." Flit zoomed in excitedly. "Then we've got to join them," He darted into the middle of the swirling wings and tried to copy their moves. He spun one way weir, then the other zoom zip-zap, but he twirled too fast and wobbled sideways into a patch of daisies. Thump, ugh, dizzy, he groaned, with little cartoon swirls in his eyes. The butterflies giggled, their voices like soft bells. Try slowly, the blue one advised. Dancing isn't about speed, it's about rhythm. Neela fluttered gently, following the butterfly's graceful patterns. Flutter, glide, twirl. Her wings shimmered in the sunlight. Flit joined again, this time pacing himself. Together, they spun in a sparkling circle with their new friends. It's like painting the air with our wings, Neela laughed. And I'm not crashing, Flit cheered. The butterflies landed on nearby blossoms, sipping nectar. The blue one explained. When we dance, we spread pollen from flower to flower. That's how we help the garden grow. Neela's eyes widened. So dancing isn't just fun, it helps nature too. Flit puffed up proudly. Then I'm a garden helper now. Flit the flower dancer. Everyone laughed as the garden glowed a little brighter. Interactive question for kids. If you could join the butterfly dance, would you twirl fast like Flit or glide gracefully like Neela? The Lost Bee, the secret garden, was buzzing with life flitorily. As Neela and Flit hovered near a patch of golden marigolds, they heard a faint sound. Bzzzzz, bzzz sniffle. Flit perked up. Wait, did that buzzing just? Sniffle. Neela leaned closer. It sounds sad. From beneath a flower petal peeked a tiny fuzzy bee. Its stripes were crooked, its wings drooped, and its big round eyes were watery. Oh no, Neela whispered. Are you okay, little bee? The bee wiped its eyes with a tiny leg. Sniff, sniff, I can't find my hive. I got lost chasing a butterfly, and now I don't know where home is. Flit's feathers puffed up dramatically. A rescue mission. We'll help you get home, little buddy. The bee blinked hopefully. Really? Of course, Neela said kindly. That's what friends do. With a determined buzz, Flit zoomed into the air. Zitseep, follow me. I'll find your hive in no time. He darted left, then right, then straight into a cluster of sunflowers. Boink! He bounced back with petals stuck on his head. Or maybe Neela should lead, he mumbled, cross-eyed from the tumble. Neela giggled. Hives are usually near lots of flowers, where bees collect nectar. Let's look for a spot that smells extra sweet. The trio zoomed together, sniffing as they flew. Sniff, sniff, buzz, buzz. Suddenly, the lost bee's antennae perked up. That smell. It's my hive. Sure enough, tucked into the crook of an old oak tree was a golden, glowing beehive. Hundreds of bees buzzed happily around it, carrying pollen and humming in harmony. My family, the little bee squeaked. It zipped into the hive's entrance, then popped back out to hug Neela and Flit. Well, as much as a bee can hug a hummingbird, thank you. I'll never forget how kind you were. Flit saluted proudly. Another mission accomplished by Team Hummingbird, Neela smiled. Remember, Flit, it wasn't about speed. It was about helping. The bees sang a happy buzz that echoed through the garden, making the flowers sway as though clapping. Interactive question for kids. If you found a lost bee, would you help it find its hive like Neela, or make it laugh with silly tricks like Flit? The rainbow flowers, after helping the little bee, Neela and Flit, soared deeper into the garden. The sunlight filtered through leafy branches, painting the air with sparkles. Suddenly, something caught Flit's eye. Wait, a wingbeat, look over there, he gasped. In the middle of the clearing stood a patch of tall, elegant flowers. But these weren't ordinary blossoms. Their petals shimmered, changing color as the light touched them. One moment they were fiery red, then glowing orange, then cool blue, then bright violet. Whoa, Neela whispered, her eyes wide. There, rainbow flowers. Flit zipped closer, wings buzzing excitedly. That's it. I'm declaring this the most magical flower ever. He zoomed around one, pointing with his tiny wing. Look, it's red when the sun's high, but blue in the shade. It's like a flower costume party. Neela hovered thoughtfully. It's not a costume. The petals reflect light differently, just like a rainbow. Nature's little trick. Flit stuck his beak into a glowing petal. Sip, sip. His eyes went wide. Whoa, the nectar changes flavor too. First it tastes like strawberries, then like blueberries. Neela, you have to try this. Neela dipped her beak. Slurp. You're right. Sweet, then tangy, then sweet again. It's like drinking a rainbow milkshake. The flowers swayed as if giggling, releasing tiny sparkles of pollen into the air. Puff. Flit sneezed, and the sparkles stuck to his feathers. Ha, now I'm a rainbow bird, he squeaked, twirling in the sunlight. His feathers glittered in red, green, and gold. Neela laughed so hard she nearly fell from the air. You look like a flying disco ball. Correction, Flit announced proudly, striking a pose mid-air, the coolest disco ball in the garden. The rainbow flowers began to hum softly, their petals glowing brighter. Neela tilted her head. It's like they're singing a thank you song. Then we should dance. Flit whooped, bouncing from flower to flower like a tiny hummingbird DJ. As the siblings twirled, the whole clearing sparkled with color, wrapping them in a magical rainbow glow. Interactive question for kids. If you found rainbow flowers, would you taste the nectar, dance under their glow, or paint their colors in the air with your wings? The storm chased. The secret garden had been glowing with sunshine all morning. But now, a shadow crept across the flowers. The sky darkened, and a rumble rolled overhead. A rumble? Growl? Flit froze midair. Uh-oh, was that my tummy again? Neela shook her head. No, Flit, that's thunder. A storm is coming. The wind picked up, rustling the leaves like whispering voices. Whoosh, swish, petals scattered through the air. The rainbow flowers bent low, as if bowing before the sky. Flit's eyes widened. Storms mean rain, and rain means plip, plop, splosh. A giant raindrop smacked him right on the head, flattening his feathers. Wet hummingbirds, he squeaked. Neela fluttered closer. Quick, we need shelter. Follow me. They darted through the whipping branches, dodging falling drops the size of marbles. Plip, plop, plop, splash. The garden was no longer gentle and quiet, it roared with the storm's energy. Hoa, Flit shouted as a gust of wind spun him in circles. I'm a hummingbird. Neela grabbed his wing just in time. Hold steady. Over there under that giant leaf, they zipped beneath a broad banana leaf that curved like a natural umbrella. Thump, thump, thump. Rain pounded on top, but the hummingbirds stayed dry. Flit peeked out, eyes wide at the storm's power. Trees swayed, flowers bent, and raindrops splashed into the pond, sending ripples dancing across the surface. It's scary, but kind of amazing, too, he whispered. Neela nodded. Storms might seem wild, but they give the garden what it needs. Water for flowers, ponds for frogs, and puddles for bugs. It's nature's way of keeping everything alive. Flit tilted his head, watching raindrops race each other down the leaf. So even storms are helpers. Exactly, Neela said with a smile. Every part of nature has a role. When the thunder finally rumbled away and the rain slowed to a soft drizzle, the garden glistened like a jewel. Drops sparkled on every flower, and the air smelled fresh and new. Flit shook his feathers, spraying Neela with tiny droplets. Splursh. Hey, she giggled. Flit grinned. What? I was just sharing the rain's gift. They both laughed, ready for the next surprise the garden would bring. Interactive question for kids. If you were caught in a storm like Neela and Flit, would you hide under a leaf, splash in puddles, or zoom around in the rain? The hidden pond after the storm, the secret garden sparkled. Drops of water clung to petals like crystal beads, and the air was fresh, carrying the soft smell of earth and blossoms. Everything looks new, whispered Neela, her wings humming softly. Flit fluttered behind her, leaving tiny water droplets twinkling in the air. Drip. It's like the storm painted the garden with shiny sprinkles. They followed the sound of trickling water. Tinkled. It grew louder until the flowers opened to reveal a hidden pond. Its surface was smooth as glass, reflecting the sky, the trees, and even the tiny hummingbirds hovering above. Wow, Neela breathed. It's like the garden is holding a mirror. Flit darted close and peeked at his reflection. Hey, look, it's me, but handsomer. He puffed his chest proudly, making his reflection wiggle. Neela giggled. Handsome, more like soggy. She splashed him with her wing plip. Suddenly, the still pond rippled as bright dragonflies zipped across its surface. Their wings shimmered in emerald, sapphire, and gold, catching the light like flying jewels. Zip, whoosh, swish, they darted, moving so quickly they looked like streaks of living lightning. Whoa, Flit gasped. Tiny helicopters with sparkles. One dragonfly hovered in front of him, its big eyes twinkling. It tilted its head, then zoomed away in a dazzling loop-de-loop. Did you see that? Flit cried, zipping after it. He tried to copy the loop, but ended up wobbling sideways. Neela laughed softly. Careful, Flit. Dragonflies are masters of the pond sky. The dragonflies swirled together in a delicate dance above the water, tracing glowing patterns with their wings. Their movements made ripples in the pond, spreading rings of shimmering light. Neela and Flit hovered quietly, their reflections rippling below them. The calm, glowing dance filled the air with peace, as if the whole garden was humming a lullaby. Flit sighed, eyes wide with wonder. I thought the storm was the loudest music ever. But this is the softest song. Neela smiled, and both are beautiful. The garden has many voices. They rested by the pond's edge, wings folded for the first time all day, simply listening to the magical silence. Interactive question for kids. If you were sitting by the hidden pond, would you copy the dragonfly's loop-de-loops, make funny faces at your reflection, or just watch the ripples quietly? The glow garden, as the sun dipped low, the secret garden changed again. Shadows stretched across the flowers, and the pond shimmered with the first hints of moonlight. Flit yawned loudly. Hunix ezzzzip. His wings buzzed as he stretched. Neela giggled. That didn't sound like a yawn, more like a goose. But before Flit could argue, a soft blink. Blink, blink lit up the air. Then another, and another. Tiny golden lights began appearing in the twilight, flickering like stars drifting down from the sky. What? Flit whispered, eyes wide. The stars are flying. No, Neela said softly. They're fireflies. Blink, blink, zoom. One zipped past Flit's beak, leaving a glowing trail. Yipe, he squeaked, flipping backward. They're like flying lanterns, or little glowing superheroes. Soon, dozens of fireflies swirled through the garden, weaving glowing patterns in the air. Some blinked slowly, like gentle heartbeats, while others zipped so fast they looked like streaks of golden lightning. Flit zoomed after them. Was your zip zip? Catch the lanterns. Catch the lanterns, he cried, darting wildly. But every time he got close blink, the fireflies winked out, only to reappear behind him. What? Flit shouted, spinning in circles. They're using invisible powers. Neela laughed as she glided gracefully through the glowing swarm. They're not tricking you, Flit. Fireflies flash on and off to talk to each other. To talk? With their butts? Flit cackled. Best superpower ever. The fireflies twinkled brighter, their lights reflecting in the pond like thousands of candles. The entire garden glowed with golden sparkles, as if wrapped in starlight, Neela whispered. It feels like the whole garden is having a nighttime party. Flit zipped around in excitement. Then let's join. I'm Flit, the lantern. Pew pew pew. He darted in zigzags, pretending his wings shot beams of light. The fireflies whirled around him in playful spirals, blinking faster, as if laughing. Neela spun beside them, her feathers glowing in their golden glow. Together, they danced through the firefly lanterns until the garden shimmered like a dream. At last, Flit slowed down, panting happily. Best night ever, Neela nodded, her eyes shining. And the night is only just beginning. Interactive question for kids. If you could glow like a firefly, would you blink slowly like a calm lantern? Or flash super fast like Flit, the pew-pew superhero? The big challenge, the fireflies' glow slowly faded as Neela and Flit flew deeper into the garden. The air grew cooler, and the flowers leaned in close, as if whispering secrets. Why does it feel different here? Flit whispered, his voice wobbly. Neela tilted her head. Listen. The garden was quiet. Too quiet. No buzzing bees, no chirping crickets. Just the soft creak of branches. Creak. Suddenly thwip, something sticky brushed Flit's wing. Yipe, he squeaked, flapping wildly. Something touched me. Neela gasped. Hanging between two tall ferns was a gigantic spiderweb. It shimmered silver in the moonlight. Sticky strands stretched like ropes. Drops of dew clung to it, glowing like tiny pearls. Whoa, Neela whispered. It's beautiful, but dangerous. Flit squirmed, tugging his wing free, sprawling. I almost became spider dinner. His eyes darted around nervously. Neela frowned. No, the web is empty, but we have to be careful. This is the spider's trap. They tried to fly around it, but the web stretched wide, blocking the whole path. Beyond it shimmered a patch of glowing flowers, their nectar calling like treasure. Flit gulped. Of course, the sweetest flowers are behind the spooky web. Neela nodded. Then we'll need teamwork. They hovered close, studying the strands. Some were sticky, others looser. The web was like a puzzle. Okay, Neela whispered. If we dart through the gaps carefully, we can make it. Flit's eyes bulged. Through the web? That's crazy. Crazy smart, Neela corrected. With a deep breath, she zipped forward. With zip, she weaved through the strands like a needle through thread. Her tiny body slipped neatly between gaps. Your turn, Flit, she called. Flit gulped. Okay, wings. Don't fail me now. He shot forward zoom, but wobbled sideways. Thwip, his tail feathers stuck fast. Stuck? I'm stuck, he yelped. Neela zipped back and tugged him free. Sprawling, he tumbled out, upside down and dizzy, but safe. See? Neela said gently. Together, we can solve even the trickiest puzzles. Finally, they reached the glowing flowers. Their petals opened with a sigh, releasing the sweetest scent. Flit slumped against a blossom. Remind me never to sign up for spider gymnastics again. They both laughed, though their hearts still beat fast from the challenge. Interactive question for kids. If you had to get past the spider's web, would you zip through carefully like Neela, or need a rescue like Flit? If you are enjoying this story, I would really appreciate you to like, subscribe, and comment. The promise of the garden. Neela and Flit hovered proudly above the glowing flowers they had reached after their spiderweb challenge. Their hearts still raced, but their wings beat strong and steady. Flit puffed out his chest. We did it, Neela. We braved the storm, dodged raindrops, danced with butterflies, and even outsmarted a spiderweb. Neela smiled. And we helped a lost bee, found rainbow flowers, and discovered the garden's secrets together. Just then, the garden itself seemed to awaken. One by one, flowers lifted their heads, swaying in rhythm. The pond rippled with silver light. Fireflies blinked in patterns that formed glowing circles. Dragonflies zipped in loops like sparkling fireworks. Whoa, Flit whispered. It's like the whole garden is cheering for us. The butterflies returned, fluttering in colorful spirals. Bees buzzed in harmony. Even the rainbow flowers shimmered brighter, their petals glowing with every color at once. The air filled with a joyful hum, like a song sung by the garden itself. Listen, Neela said softly. The garden is alive. It's celebrating. Flit twirled midair, wings buzzing with excitement. Then we should celebrate too. He zipped into the air, spinning and diving, making loops and zigzags. Zip-zoom. Neela followed, her wings painting arcs of silver in the moonlight. Together, they danced above the pond, surrounded by glowing fireflies and shimmering flowers. Ta-da! Flit shouted dramatically, ending with a spin that nearly made him dizzy. Neela giggled. You're going to fall into the pond one of these days. The garden's lights shimmered brighter, wrapping the siblings in a glowing rainbow. Neela felt her tiny heart swell with pride. This garden isn't just a secret, it's a promise. If we care for it, it will always be full of wonder. Flit nodded, serious for once. Then we'll protect it. Team Hummingbird, guardians of the secret garden. They bumped wings proudly, sealing their promise. Above them, the moon shone down, and the garden sparkled like a living jewel. It was no longer just a hidden world. It was their world, their victory, their triumph. Ready for the next adventure? Flit asked. Neela grinned. Always. Together, they zipped into the night, leaving trails of light behind them, like two tiny comets soaring through their magical sky. Interactive question for kids. If you were part of Team Hummingbird, what job would you choose? Dancer like Neela, superhero like Flit, or guardian of the garden like both?